Okay, Chelsea, thank you so much for joining me today.
Of course.
I watched your short Make the Call just a few days ago, and I love this genre of short, and thriller and horror are my favorite for sure. And this one was right up my alley. Uh, can you tell me a little bit about when you got attached to the project and things that interested you about this particular script?
Yeah, thank you for the kind words, and I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah, so I kind of coming out of the pandemic, a close friend of mine who's a writer approached me and was like, I directed this one, Make the Call, and have been kind of looking to attach myself to more things because I just wanted to, it was like the pandemic was slow, and I was like, I just want to direct everything now that we can do it again. And so my friend approached me and was like, I have this script. She was just like, would you be interested in directing this? And so I immediately read it and I was really interested in it. I think it's kind of a comment on it's not we purposely tried to not make a pandemic movie, but it's kind of a comment on how domestic abuse cases have rose so much during the pandemic. And it's a comment on that.
I did get just a few subtle moments of, during the pandemic, possibly just due to the writing of, we haven't seen each other in so long, but that was actually had a dual meaning with, the characters having gone through so many traumatic moments. So definitely got that feeling in the script. Have this interesting moment that always get you, which is like this big reveal, and this film it absolutely nailed that big reveal at the end. Was it difficult, or did you have to tweak anything to film that moment?
Yeah, it's interesting. I just was concerned. I think it's so so it is for the people listening, it's a horror, like genre movie. And I think it can be difficult. I was nervous that it wasn't going to be scary. Like that was my biggest concern. I was like, I really want the ending to be scary. And I feel like there's a lot of things you can do, or a lot of times I've seen like short films or whatnot where it's like it was going for scary, but it kind of missed the mark. And so that was the thing I was most kind of concerned about. But I felt in the editing, we were able to really mess with it and kind of added like some extra elements. Like during the scariest moments, we keep like cutting to black in between. And I think that really helped elevate it. Um, so yeah, I don't know if I answered your question, but
Yeah,
that
yeah,
was
you
the
did, you did,
process
you
for
did for sure.
it.
No, I totally got that. A lot of the scary moments were in the editing and the chopping of the scenes that flashed in your face. The flashback sequences were utilized very well during those conversations, and kind of made you feel uneasy because you weren't really sure what was happening in those moments, and they were just little subtle flashes. So they were very well utilized, definitely.
Thank you. Yeah, I kind of use the idea that less is more. Like the less you see, the scarier it is. So we kind of like really tried to pull back on what we are actually seeing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
To help
and
add
it
to it.
yeah, and it definitely, over the course of the film gave you more and more information, which, keeps the intrigue because you're trying to figure out the story, and you're giving a little bit at a time, which is just great for, grabbing the audience and making them, stay in tune with the film.
Hmm. Yeah, thanks.
No problem. You've been involved with, many different genres and, different forms of writing, directing, acting. In terms of directing different types of genre, do you have to tweak or change any particular style or camera movements or anything like that to adapt?
Yeah, I mean, it's so different. And this was actually my first time working in this genre. And I think I wasn't sure how I would feel about it. And I ended up loving it so much that I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to do so many more genre films. Because I've done a lot of like the Juno Ladybird kind of stuff or comedies, which are also fun. And I felt like in this one, the cinematography was a more important element than some of the other genres that I work with, where it's really about like the characters and the dynamic and what's going on with them. And so I come from an acting background, as you said. So I feel like really at home with like talking to actors and doing that stuff. And so with this, obviously that's a big part of it, but the cinematography and like doing really cool shots or making it kind of spooky has been just a new way to explore working. But I have a cinematographer, Ali Schultz, who's just incredible, and we work sweet. Like now from this movie on, I'm like, she's my person. Like we just work so well and bounce off of each other so well that it was just really fun to explore this genre in an yeah, it's such a different way of working.
You mentioned you came from an acting background. When was it that you decided, or had an interest in getting behind the camera?
Yeah, it was kind of I think around 2018, the real thing that happened was I was in a film that I was really excited about, and it played in theaters, and I went to see it, and I was cut from it. I only had a small part, but I was like truly not in the movie, and it kind of led me to be like, what am I doing with acting? This is crazy. Like you have no control over anything. And so I started writing just to kind of like I don't know, I needed a creative outlet. I was just trying to figure out what I was doing next, and then wrote myself a short film to give myself an acting opportunity. And then through that process, and I think this has happened with so many people, but I just fell in love with filmmaking. And so then the next film I did, I was like, I think I want to not act in it and I want to try and direct it. And then now I'm just like, I would consider myself that I still do all the things, but I just love directing so, so much. And I feel grateful that I could have found it because I'm like, I could have gone my whole life and never known how much I love this, you
Yeah,
know?
I guess that moment made you realize that a lot of things are out of your control, having been cut from the movie cut entirely.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
and you wanted that control, so you said, "You know what? I'm gonna film what I wanna film and show what I wanna show."
Exactly. Honestly, it's just proven for me to be I'm just so much happier having some control over it. Not even like I still have to try and get funding or, I want to make a feature one day, all that stuff. But yeah, you like it's just better.
I read, an interesting fact on your website that you've been murdered on screen 7 times.
I have
Do you have a favorite?
a favorite time being murdered. Oh man. Yeah, I do actually. I was okay in the cold open of this TV show called Castle. I was hit by a bus, but it was so fun because I like just had to be, running through the woods with like some masked guy chasing me, and it was just so fun. And then I had a stunt double to do some of the bus stuff, but yeah, it was fun.
That's
Then they
that's
put me in a body
hilarious.
bag. It was great.
That's funny. So Make the Call is gonna be, premiering and screening at the Vaughan International Film Festival June 20th. It is actually nominated for an award at, Best Actress. Will this be, the Canadian premiere? It
This
is
is
the
the
Canadian
Canadian
premiere?
premiere.
Oh,
Yeah, very
amazing.
excited.
Very exciting.
This one is the next one. I premiered at Sarasota Film Festival. That was the first one. So we're really just starting our festival circuit. So I'm
Oh,
super
great.
very excited. But we have a screening at the Chinese Theater in LA at Dances with Films, just about 2 weeks after the Vaughan Film Festival. Yeah.
Oh, that's
So
great.
so yeah, I know it's been great. So we're just getting started and super exciting, and it's great to be kicking off in Canada. We're so excited about that.
Yeah. Have you
Yeah.
been able to watch the film, on a big screen yet?
Just the one time. I did go to Sarasota Film Festival, which is in Florida, and saw it, and it was fun. It was fun. I like the thing I said, I was like, I want people to be scared, and they were definitely scared. I was
Yeah.
like, sweet, mission accomplished.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it in person on a big screen. I don't think watching it on, my laptop,
Uh-huh.
minimal sound is, the best way to watch a thriller. You need to be immersed, so I'm excited to see it, at the Vaughan Film Festival, be able to see it on a larger screen, definitely.
Ah, thank you. I appreciate that.
You have another short film, Anaconda?
That one is has been also doing the festival circuit. Yeah,
Oh, so
that
it's
one,
making its way around.
it's making its way around. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
great.
That one's a comedy.
It's a
Totally
comedy. Yeah.
different.
Did you film Were they around the same time, in terms of, uh, directing and when you were working on them?
Yeah, they were similar. It was kind of like coming out of the pandemic. That was when I was like, if anyone wants anyone to direct something, like I'm here. And so that was another one. I ended up doing 3 films in like 2021 into 2022. And so it was really, really fun. I did 2 short films and a pilot. Um, yeah, so that was part of that chunk.
Oh, great. So comedy and thriller, jumping kind of back and forth between the different genres.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
well, Chelsea, thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to watching and screening again Make the Call at the Vaughan International Film Festival, June 20th. It's at 7 p.m. Tickets are available right now. If you watch this video and you are interested in joining the festival, you can get tickets for both international blocks and the student blocks. And you can check out Make the Call, June 20th. Chelsea,
Thank you so much. It was so
thank you
great to
so
chat with
much.
you.
Thank you so much for chatting with me.
Thanks. Have a good one.
You too. Take care.